And we're back. The Vince and Mike Coffee Experience on the air. I'm Mike Martino, and across from me is Vince Marabelli. Back in the saddle again, my friend.
Back in the saddle, buddy. It's been like a year that we've been off, quote, for the video people, for the audio people, off for a year,
On hiatus.
doing a bunch of other stuff, dude. 2017 was like career-wise my best year ever.
Nice.
Ever. Like, I think, and I still don't think I've peaked. Which I'm excited. I'm excited for 2018.
I'm glad you didn't peak in 2017, because then there'd be nothing to do in 2018.
There'd be nothing to talk about now.
You'd be like those guys from high school. They peaked in high school. Now they talk about
captain of the football team. You know who they'd be? Al Bundy. That's who they are. Captain of the football team.
Selling shoes.
4 touchdowns in one game. Selling shoes. With all due respect to people that sell shoes, I'm not disparaging that. Just I think we're trying to provide an image here.
Yeah.
So we're back, baby. We're back. Had a little bit of time off with the kid number 2. And now that they are a little bit older and going to bed at a more reasonable time, we are able to get back in the proverbial saddle.
Back and rebranded. We are no longer rebranded. Business Innovation Podcast. We're no longer the 5 to 9 podcast. And so why did we pick the, we should probably have some sort of backstory. Why the Vince and Mike Coffee Experience? Go ahead.
So you want me to do this?
Yeah.
All right. So for those that missed out on the brilliance that was the Business Innovation Podcast and the 5 to 9 podcast, Mike and I are actually colleagues. We would periodically, once or twice a week ish, go grab coffee, and every time for about a 6-month period, every time we would get into these very engaging, very interesting, and yet very professional conversations, because the work that we do, we realized had a lot of overlap. So Mike is focused more on the customer experience and digital side. I'm very focused on process and process improvement and process innovation. And we realized that there was this symbiotic relationship between our works. And so we kept saying how, oh man, we should have recorded that conversation. That would make such a great podcast. And then after 6 months of saying, oh dude, we should have recorded that. Oh dude, we should have recorded that. We recorded one. And it was a lot of fun, and so we kept it up, and we started a podcast. I think we did close to about 100 episodes, didn't we? Between the two,
we did a combination between innovation podcast, the Business Innovation Podcast, and the 5 to 9 podcast.
Yeah.
I went back and looked at our Stitcher channel, and there was a boatload of shit on there.
Right.
So we kept it going for a while, even while you're on vacation. You're in through. Yeah. And so through the power of technology, you were in Spain, and we kept I was here back in Toronto.
Yes.
And we still kept the podcast going.
Yeah. Which was awesome, because it's a lot of fun. And so we've been itching to get back into it. And so we came up with the Vince and Mike Coffee Experience, because that's really where this was born, which was the two of us having coffee and talking about stuff, which is why the name I wanted and was immediately shut down was two idiots having coffee talking about stuff.
Well, I think we were going to go with that, and then when we were about to go live with it, I started getting cold feet, and then we had a discussion around, is that the brand that we would both put our personal brands behind? So when you go speak, are you going to say, I have this and this in a book, and I do this podcast called the Two Idiots Having Coffee? And I'm like,
co-host of the
I don't know if that's the brand we were looking for. So we needed to augment and still have the same flavor, but maybe not so much the idiot part.
It's still two idiots having coffee. We're just going with a different podcast. And so, and you were right. Like I was romantic to that name because I thought it was really clever and interesting. It would have captured an audience. But in the end, your point was valid. To go in with that name and know that that is forever attached to your brand, it's something to consider, which is the reason why, in addition to this one, I think we're both doing our own individual podcasts.
I do. I have the Double M show on Anchor.
Sorry.
So Anchor is Anchor FM, which you turned me on to. Not only you broadcast to Anchor, but now it, on your behalf, pushes it out to other podcast syndication. Right. So I think I'm on Apple and Stitcher and a bunch of other ones, and I didn't really do it. I didn't do any work. They did all the work for me. So
right.
If you're looking to get into podcasting, a good little, you only do 5, not like the 30-minute extravaganza that we're going to have, but if you want to have like a 5-minute deal and not do much any after work, it's probably a good way to get your feet wet. So that's where I'm on for very quick segments.
Yeah, and I had experimented with that a little bit. I've sort of been off of it lately, but I do plan to do a lot more audio in 2018, and so I think that's going to be a supplement to this podcast as well as the one that I'm about to kick off, which is the process innovation experience, which is going to be extremely dialed in and focused on my area of expertise. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to use this as a springboard to be able to go out and be seen as experts in our respective fields. So,
and if you've been under a rock and you don't know this, but during the holiday season, both Amazon and Google were blowing out their Google Home and their Amazon Echo with Alexa.
Right.
So voice is going to be huge. So another reason we want to get back into, on top of it being fun.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a huge communication tool over the next few years. And I think we need to be back on there. And if you're listening, you should think about that because I barely type anymore on my phone. I use my Google Assistant like for everything. And when I'm on Google Hangouts sending you a text or other people or WhatsApp or text, I really only do voice. I barely type anymore.
Yeah. So good segue because I want to get into in our first segment today. We're back.
Do we do that?
I
thought we did that already.
No. So let's talk about some of the things that we've done over the last year, and then some of the goals, the objectives that we want to accomplish this year. Because I'm with you, man. I'm trying to write as little as possible, despite the fact that I know that I need to start producing more written content. I'm just not going to write it. I'm going to speak it to Google and then let the Googly machine do the thing. So we're back. So what's been going on in the past year, Michael?
Well, we both collabed and have a book on Amazon, the Business Innovation Playbook on Amazon. We are published authors. That's very exciting.
Yeah,
I used that in some of my discussions near the end of the last year. So there's that.
Okay.
Right. So I've renewed my vigor of writing on Medium.
Yes, you've been killing it on there, man.
So I'm on there, and I hope to actually use this as pillar content. And if whatever we talk about today may find its way into Medium, because I'm trying not to just create stuff, but document the work that we do. And if you're always busy doing stuff, you should have a lot to say, and you'd be able to broadcast that over stuff.
Yeah.
So there was that. working on lots of projects in the digital space. And thanks to Vince, the help of Vince, I'm actually speaking. I don't know if it's I didn't get the official email, but it's on no wait, but it's on the website.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Because other people have come up to me and said,
"Oh, have they?
I saw that you're speaking."
Hey.
And so that will be June the 4th, 2018.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool because usually we do everything last minute. So the fact that I'm booked in for a summer thing is pretty cool. So I'm speaking in Toronto at BA World, the Metro Convention Center.
Yep.
And that's about.
And I'll tell you something, Mike. I just want to jump in, and then I'm going to do my thing. But I know that's something that you've wanted to do for a while. I was more excited seeing you on that website than seeing the very next person, which was me. I was so excited.
I know because I was in a meeting, and then you were like texting me, "You're around?" And you're like exclamation mark. I'm like, I wonder what's up.
Yeah. So I was super excited, and you know, I've been doing it now for a few years. I'm by no means an expert, but I've been doing it a few years, and it's been amazing to you know to be up there and speaking and getting people to listen that are interested in what you have to say, and they're there to see you. And I mean, I did a workshop last year where a guy came from Australia to attend my workshop. Like that was cool. That was
cool.
That is
pretty damn cool.
I was more excited seeing Mike Martino on that website. I was excited, man. So yeah, that's awesome. And I know you've been wanting to do it for a while, so I was happy to do whatever little I could to make that a reality. And now it's up to you. You got to bring the thunder.
Yep.
But
I have to bring the thunder.
You got to bring the thunder, and I will be in that audience. But you got to kill it now. So yeah, I've been doing a lot more speaking. This was a banner year, I guess, for speaking. And by banner, I mean I did like 10 talks.
Nice.
Like that was So I got a chance to visit a couple new places. Was earlier in the year, I was in Minneapolis. Got a chance to go to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Des Moines, Iowa, Moncton. Got to close the year really, really coolly in New York City and Manhattan. Spoke at a conference there, and I'm sort of dual focused at this point. I'm trying to grow my expertise in my field of work, but I also want to start doing a little bit more speaking because I'm starting to figure out that my lane is not my lane. So process improvement, Mike, this is breaking news for you. Process improvement is not my lane.
It's not your lane.
It's not my lane. Do you know what my lane is?
No, because if it's late breaking, you probably just thought of it.
I just figured it out today. It's actually alternatives to typical approaches to problem solving, which is really that's my lane. Like it's very, very broad because every business in the world needs people that can solve problems. What I present is different avenues to solve problems. So, you know, is it a problem that requires the Six Sigma methodology,
right?
The lean methodology, design thinking, which you and I have both really grasped onto this year. Regular project management, like change management. What's the thing that's needed to solve the problem that's in front of you? And so that is my lane, and I'm going to try to do a little bit more in that vein. So everything that I speak about, everything that I create, even this podcast is going to be in that vein of how do you solve problems? How do you get better at solving problems?
So I think that's super important because I don't think people hire you. Like we did some bathroom renos over the summer, as you know.
Sure.
And I didn't hire a plumber to do plumbing. Because you could go on YouTube and figure out how to do plumbing. I hired a plumber and the reason that someone is good, like my plumber and my contractor, is because they solved problems. So
yeah,
the actual act of hooking up a pipe to the tap, that's not that hard. Like, you could go on YouTube and figure it out. The fact that you have to go around something, or we wanted a curbless shower, which years ago, my contractor's dad, who did the bathroom, said he couldn't do it. And then so his son said it's because he didn't want to. But he needed to now solve the problem of how he was going to slope everything to the drain, so I didn't have a curbless. So it's just one. So he needed to figure out how to take off everything, shave the joists underneath. So that's why you hire a contractor, not to just put up a shower. Like, because with everything that we have, you could probably figure it out. And so problem solving is huge. I think it's super important to be able to solve problems.
Yeah. And the advantage that I have is with all the different disciplines, I've got different ways, different methods of solving problems. And so that's the story that I want to go and tell in the world. So that's what I'm going to be working on.
So that is late breaking.
That is like super late breaking. So I'm working on, and I joined the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, so I need I don't need an elevator pitch, but I need this is what I talk about.
Right.
And so I've been working on that for about a month now, and so it's been shaping, but there you go. But it's been a kick-ass year, man. Yep. It was a kick-ass year.
I think for 2018, we're both looking to be people that when someone goes, Vince Marabelli, they go, this is what this person's going to talk. This is what he's going to talk about if he comes to our conference. Yes. And everybody throws around key opinion leader. But really, it's if someone sees your name somewhere, they're going to go, that's what that guy's going to talk about. Like, there's no question what you're the expert in. And I think we're both being hyper-focused on that.
Right.
So I think that's important, not only for us, but for people listening to the podcast. Like, what if someone were to say your name, what would you be the expert in? Like, why would they be talking to someone else about you?
Right.
And why would someone hire you? Like, it's not just going to be because he's a plumber. It's because he's a good plumber because he does these things. Right. And so what's your lane? Right. I think that's what we're focused on for 2018.
Yeah. And I think the focus, the extension of that is building brand, building awareness, and just becoming that, and you use the term, the key opinion leader, with being that go-to voice in a particular area. So there you go.
So there was
so we're back.
We're back.
All right. So next topic.
Yeah. Digital transformation.
Digital transformation.
Everybody's going through a digital transformation.
I'm so sick of hearing digital transformation.
The whole world is going through a digital transformation. Well, yeah. Sorry, let me try. Everyone's talking about going through a digital transformation. Not many people are actually going through a digital transformation.
Right.
So there's lots of talk and people going for coffee and saying, I'm a digital transformation advocate, but no one's really actually doing it. I think I just posted on. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike. Please.
I think I just posted on Anchor that 80% of companies think they're great at digital and they're going through digital transformation, and that's juxtaposed to the 8% of customers who actually think they're doing that,
right,
or doing it well. So it's
and I think you've got a lot of money is being wasted right now on quote digital, and we'll
digital.
That was a good video, wasn't it?
It was tremendous.
So context now. I watched the show on Netflix, with Bob Odenkirk and David Cross. Bob Odenkirk from former Simpsons writer, unknown, maybe a little known fact, former Simpsons writer and currently Saul Goodman
Saul Goodman.
Better Call Saul.
Yep.
And Breaking Bad. And David Cross, who was Tobias Funke in Arrested Development.
Jesus.
Great role, great show. So they did a show, and it was just like a live show. And one of the sketches that they did was this digital expert named Shangy, and I actually shared that video with Mike the other day, and it's David Cross in a really bad mullet wig, gets on stage and just digital email. Yeah, nature is crazy like the internet. Like, it was really
it's pretty funny.
Extreme. It's really funny. It was good. So I think there's a lot of companies that have this conception of that they're going to transform digitally and what that means to them, and I think they are wasting a lot of money. They're investing a lot of money, and in the end, I think it's going to prove to be the undoing of a lot of different businesses, because they're going to invest too heavily in doing it poorly. And I'm not going to throw any names out, but I think there are some businesses that will go away as a result of trying to transform their business digitally. And I think a better tactic, and Mike, I'm going to ask you to jump in here. I'm going to throw something out though. A better tactic is to recognize that digital transformation is a farce. There is no such thing as digital transformation. There is a business transformation to operate in the year 2018.
I agree. Okay. I think a lot of people talk about digital and it's a new way to do stuff and buy a whole bunch of stuff, and people can consult.
And those are the people making the money.
Those are the people making the money, but it's not actually helping the company. So if your company has a corporate strategy and then they have a digital strategy, of which a digital transformation is part of that digital strategy, you got a problem, because Google and Amazon and every other digital native company doesn't have a strategy and then a digital strategy. Mm-hmm. They have one strategy. And so their strategy is to do stuff, and it just happens to be in a new modern way. But they don't have one process for one thing and one other process for another. So what we're finding, and you and I, is everybody wants to do something, so they want to build a digital product, but they're doing work the same old way, and that doesn't work. You need to actually start with what the business process is going to be.
Yes.
Do that hard work, and then in the end go, and now how are we going to deliver this? How's the customer going to interact with us? But it's not how's the customer going to interact with us. And so now we have like 4 different processes. Like, it doesn't work like that. Right. So everyone tries to take the fun, cool way, but no one really wants to do the hard work of actually building a good process and a good business architecture to help the customer. Like, that's not what people want to do.
Because it's not sexy. Like, it's not sexy to say, hey, I'm fixing business process. That's what I'm doing this year. Yeah. Like, it's not I know that. And that's what I do. And it's not sexy. It's much sexier to say, I built a chatbot that is going to do, is going to handle 5% of my transactions. Like, that's cool. Even though there's probably going to be very, very little value in it, because the cost of creating that chatbot is going to outweigh the 5% or whatever. I mean, I'm making up numbers at this point, but it's not going to outweigh it. And it brings me back to my mantra of one of my central theses, Mike, which is don't automate, eliminate. Like, eliminate first, then automate. So when you're looking at at the way that your business does business, transacts business. It's not about layering on top of your current mode of communication, of engaging with your business, with your customers, whatever. So now we're adding a digital channel, and that's going to solve everything. And the reality is, all that does is it adds complexity to your business, because now you've got to support an additional channel. So now you're supporting the digital channel, you're supporting the phone channel, you're supporting horse and buggy channel. Like, you're supporting all these nonsensical channels,
and they all have different processes.
And then
they
go, don't talk to each other.
Why aren't the employees being efficient? Oh, why don't you do your job 8 different ways and see how that works out for you?
Right.
And I've told this story to you, so I'm going to tell it on the podcast. One of the things that I take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and everyone likes to do the sexy choke or the arm bar, and everybody's really good at it in practice, because we just go to that. We go to that move.
Hey, let me choke you.
And it looks great. The hard part, of which nobody wants to practice, is the movement to get to that choke. Like, because that's boring. Doing all these moves over and over and drilling it over and over and over to be good enough to get to the sexy choke. Nobody wants to do that. And that's what, to me, a digital transformation is right now. Nobody wants to do the hard work. Everyone just wants to get to AI, chatbot, mobile, chat. And everybody just wants to do Facebook Messenger. And you can do, that's great. But if you can't support that with business process, or if you're just adding that as another process, that's where all the digital transformation is falling down right now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And so
I had a friend of mine ask me about some work that they're doing with robotic process automation.
Yes.
And I'm like, but you guys can't even get what you do right. Like, why are you even having this conversation?
Right.
It's part of the strategy. It's part of the, it's part of, like, okay, cool. Fix what's broke first, because it's going to be a lot cheaper. It's going to be a lot more effective, and it's going to buy you time from your customers that actually see, you know what, these guys are trying to do something. So don't automate, folks. Eliminate, then automate.
Yeah.
That's you'll hear me say that over and over and over again, and it's rings true. Not because it just keeps me busy and keeps me doing work, but the reality is that's the right way to do things, because it's the setup to the choke.
Yes, and I think a lot of people try and go above their pay grade. So, again, like your friend, they want to do. They're like a white belt in the business world, and they want to start doing black belt moves. It doesn't work like that. There's a progression. Like, you got to become a blue belt, and then a purple belt, and then a brown belt, and then a black belt. You can't just go, we're doing AI, robotic, machine learning, because it's part of the strategy, yet you don't have any digital channels, and you're very bad at the channels that you have.
Right.
You can't. That's above your pay grade, my friend. And you need to do some simple things to help your customer, but not the crazy thing. Like, not the thing that Amazon is doing. Well, Amazon's doing it. Yeah,
great.
Amazon has been building since 1999. And
it's part of their DNA. It's part of what they do.
Yeah, but they went through the progression to be able to do what they're doing now. They didn't just jump from, like, they didn't have AI back in 2000. Like, they did a bunch of things to be able to get to there, and to be able to offer up Amazon Prime, which gave you your shit in like a day.
Yeah.
If you're taking 2 weeks to give, you're not going to go to a week, just because Amazon's doing it. So there's a progression to these things, and you can't take the shortcut just because that's what is in your strategy. Your strategy is wrong.
Because you're not going to go straight from, horse and buggy to delivery by drone.
No,
like it's not going to happen.
There's a reason.
There's a reason that Amazon is one of the very few that's actually experimenting with drone delivery.
Right. But they've gone through, there's things that they learn going through the progression to get to drone drop.
Right.
That you're not going to get to, you're not just going to jump there.
Right. Tremendous.
So digital transformation, catchy.
Be careful.
Catchy buzzword.
But great buzzword.
But you need to work on you need to fix up your processes, become a digital by default process before you start doing AI and drone drops. Okay. You need to, your processes need to be there before you start delivering these higher level applications for your customers.
Right. Outstanding.
That's it for digital transformation.
Third topic. So folks, we're gonna experiment a little bit. First episode, but I'm thinking this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about three topics. Did I say this already? I don't think so.
No, you said we did before we got on the air.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna have 3 topics. 2 are gonna be serious and in line with the work that we do and our thoughts on business and life and that. The third one's gonna be a little bit more fun. So I'm gonna throw this out there. Mike, are you ready for this? Where's your line?
Where's your line?
Where's your line? Let me explain. In the last year, what is one thing that you thought you would never do that you did in the last year? And I'll go first because I can tell you've got to think about this one.
Yeah, because I think you have something off the top of your head.
I've got something. I came up with the question, or with the topic. I've started traveling a fair bit. You know that. I think I did about 10 trips this year. A bunch of flights. I'm alone by myself. I'm by myself a lot because you can only be alone by yourself. I find myself alone, just sort of hanging out in a new city. Don't really know anybody. I'm not trying to hook up or anything. I'm just getting to something. So I'm there for like 36 hours, and I have like one night that I can go do something. And so folks that do this, that consult and travel a lot, said, "Oh, you should, go to a movie or and I'm like, I would never go to a movie by myself. That's like the weirdest thing ever. No, that was my line. Right. And I actually, as part of a bit of a personal experiment and pushing myself, I actually did go to a movie before the holidays by myself. I went to go see The Last Jedi. And let me tell you,
yeah,
it was the best.
Really?
Oh yeah,
it was the best.
That was the end for me. That was like the one thing that I said I would never do.
Is go to the movies.
Go to a movie by myself, and it was awesome. I can't wait till the next time I do it because it's gonna happen again. Going to the movies by myself was my line. And I crossed it. And I crossed it in 2017. So what you got?
I don't have anything. I think I think we needed to. I needed more time for this one. What would be my line? Anything I have is lame compared to your story.
It can be lame. It's just it was a line, but
it was a line. I don't even have that. I guess I didn't cross any lines this year.
Then you didn't experiment enough. So
I agree.
I win the innovation games.
That's right. You win the innovation game.
So, okay, cool. Well, that segment didn't work out. So
yes, it did. It worked out for you. I got no stories.
Yeah, except now I'm the sad guy that goes to movies by himself.
I thought that was a personal triumph story.
It was a personal triumph. Okay. So cool. All right. Well then I think we still do that in the future though. We have 3 topics, but maybe we decide what all 3 are ahead of time.
I think maybe the fun one we have to preempt.
Yeah, okay.
Because the business ones we can do.
All right. Fair enough.
The line ones, I don't know.
Fair enough. All right. You owe us an answer.
I'm gonna owe 2 next week.
There you go. All right.
So what are we gonna commit to our our loyal listeners
who don't know that this podcast exists yet.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna aim. So I've got a personal objective, a personal goal for the year, and I've shared this with you, Mike. So this isn't go off guard. Of I said to record a podcast twice a year. I think I'm going to round that and say I'm going to record 100. Sorry, twice a week.
Okay.
I think I'm going to round that and say I'm going to record 100 podcasts, and that's going to be between this one and the one that I'm doing on my own. So I look at that as once a week kind of thing. So I think we're safe to say we're going to have some new content for you, loyal listeners, all three of you, including Mike and I. I think once a week, I think is going to be our goal. So
I think it's going to be, depending on how much post-production, it's either going to be Wednesday or Thursday, I think.
Oh, when Friday. We actually post.
Yeah. I don't think Friday, because everyone's wind down by Friday. So I think Wednesday, Thursday, expect a podcast once a week from us. Fun and frolic. Three topics, 2 business, 1 fun, and maybe I won't be lame next week. And
one question.
And one question.
The question of the week. Are you ready?
Okay. What's the question of the week? Do you have the question of the week?
I have the question of the week.
Okay. What's the question of the week?
I'm just throwing out all sorts of formatting on you. Here's the question of the week, and this is not for you and me. This is for our audience.
Okay.
Would you rather work for a douchebag or have a douchebag working for you?
Ooh. Is neither a answer, or it has to be either?
Would you rather have? That's a good one, right?
That is a bad question, man.
Would you rather have? Would you rather work for a douchebag or have a douchebag work for you? So
that's rough.
That's the question of the week.
I can't wait to hear what people say about that, because
I can't either.
That's rough.
That's right. There's no good choice.
No, that's why I said, could I? What's the third answer? Because I don't like any of those options. Those options suck.
Yep. So there it is. The question of the week, Mike. If folks want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
@_ Michael Martino on Instagram.
Cool.
Michael Martino on Twitter, and the Double M Show on Anchor FM.
Hey.
Yeah. And I'm also Michael Martino on Medium.
There you go.
Check me out.
So I'm going to say the best place to get me, Vince, is at my website, Vincent Mirabelli, all one word, .com. You can also get me on Instagram and Twitter at Vince_Mirabelli. Check us out, engage, let us know what you think of this episode. Let us know what you think of this format and this podcast, maybe versus some of our older ones. Let us know what you think and what the answer to your question is. As a reminder, would you rather work for a douchebag or have a douchebag work for you? Signing off.
That's a great question.
So this is the end of the first episode of the Vince and Mike Coffee Experience. Really, thanks for stopping by, and stay classy, San Diego.
All right. Hope you enjoyed it.